Alright, welcome back to Dinopedia entry number 28. Remember to like if you like and subscribe down below for more videos. Of course, our schedules always look at the Mamenchisaurus from Ark Survival 2, the trailer, and some patch notes and updates. Mamenchisaurus has not been added to Ark Survival Ascended or Ark Evolved. It is an Ark Survival 2 creature that will be released with the tribal NPCs additions to Ark Survival 2. So it's going to be a tribal mount for the most part, but players can still tame it in the wild if they find it. We're going to be talking about tips and tricks as released by Ark Survival 2's trailer and the patch notes for it, potential add-ons if it was ever released into Ark Survival Ascended, and reworking for my new game, Dino World. Let's get into it. So of course, the Mamenchisaurus is kind of unknown for the most part of how it acts in the wild. Ark Survival 2 patch notes have come out for the Mamenchisaurus, but of course the game is still in development. It's an animal and reptilian, of course, so it's going to go in Kingdom Animalia and Group Reptilian because it is still a dinosaur, meaning it's an ancestral lizard. And it is a sauropod, as you can see, a long-necked dinosaur. Traits in the patch notes, it says it will be passive but will attack tamed player carnivores, meaning it will be aggressive to carnivores as a whole. And it will spawn in pairs. A male and a female Mamenchisaurus will spawn in a pair. So very interesting, of course. So the Mamenchisaurus from Ark Survival 2 will have a health of 2500, stamina 200, oxygen 150, food and water 10k each, weight 2500, melee 70 for its stomp attack, for its tail whip attack, and 85 for its mega stomp attack as usual. It has 2 attacks. It has a speed of 3 meters per second walking speed and a swimming speed of 1.5 meters per second with a torpor of 1000. It has very similar stats to the Brontosaurus, but again upgraded because I think it's supposed to be the middle ground between a Bronto and a Titanosaur. So of course, utilities and roles, it is a multi-attack tank. It has a back and front kick base attack, a tail swipe knockback attack, a neck wrap attack that traps enemies in its neck, and also a mega stomp secondary attack. So 4 unique abilities to use if you're ever in a situation where you need to attack enemies. It is a Titan tame. Its taming method is the same as a Titanosaur, having to knock it out by hitting its head with cannonballs and RPG rockets. So of course, you're going to have to, it's going to not be as easy as the Brontosaurus where you can just kill with tranq arrows. You actually have to do the same thing for a Titanosaur tame using cannonballs and RPG rockets. And of course, it's the middle ground. It's the hybrid of a Bronto and a Titanosaur, having a middle-of-the-road stats with a mid-sized Titan's platform saddle. So it has a platform saddle that is very similar to the Titanosaur in size, but again, it is a little bit smaller, but it is much larger than the Bronto platform saddle, but it reflects the Bronto's health and his stat block just being a little bit more upgraded. So it is very similar to the Brachiosaurus from the Added Creatures mod. So some tricks, it is a tribal ally, because in Ark Survival 2 there will be NPC tribes that the players will have to deal with, and these NPC tribes, the Mamenchisaurus is seen as a tame for these. It is basically a bundled dinosaur with this update. So it is a tribal ally, boosts the stats and crop growth rates of tribal villages that it walks around. It is a tribal tame, one of the few dinosaurs that NPC tribes can passively tame for their uses. And tribal raids. In tribal wars, they will be used by tribes as war machines, breaking down structures and stopping other tribal mounts. So if there's ever a tribal war or tribes went to war with other players' bases and just player bases in general, then the higher level tribes could use Mamenchisaurus as war machines against you, so be careful about that. So some additional qualities, if it was ever added to Ark Survival Ascended, Enraged, even when tamed, it can still be aggressive towards other tamed carnivores and will not boost their stats as it does herbivores. So basically, it's just adding on to the fact that Mamenchisauruses hate carnivores and don't really want to be around them. So obviously, if you have tamed carnivores, maybe keep them away from the Mamenchisaurus because it will not like them that much. And also targeting. A tribal Mamenchisaurus will attack the biggest threat first, such as a Giga or Carcro, when attacking or defending for its tribe. So let's say a player goes with a Giga to take out a tribe base. The Mamenchisaurus war machine will go after the Giga first. So when you are attacking the tribe, just be ready for, if you are going against a high-level NPC tribe base, just remember that you may as well just predict that there will be a tribal Mamenchisaurus war machine coming at you to defend its tribe first. And looking at the Ark Survival Evolved picture, obviously it isn't in any game yet. It's in Ark Survival 2, which hasn't been released. you can see it versus the Jurassic World Mamenchisaurus. I do like the Mamenchisaurus from Ark a little bit better, but I do say that the Ark Jurassic World one isn't terrible. The Jurassic World one looks a little too similar to the Brachio, I'm going to be honest, while the Ark one is a very unique model, as its head is unique. It has kind of unique level eyes. It also has a pattern going down its neck. I also do like the little bulb on its tail as well. It does show a little bit more design variety than the Jurassic World one. As for the Dino World one, honestly, ours is just going to be kind of based on this image right here. We still have the bulb on its tail, similar to the Ark one that has a bulb on its tail, but our main focus is putting textures on the neck. So the neck has textures like a leopard's texture and a cheetah texture, just making it, a little bit more unique than the Ark one. So of course, there will be 4 different types of the Mamenchisaurus. There will be the normal Mamenchisaurus, which is the wild and tame dino variant, the mutated Mamenchisaurus, the product of 2 tamed Mamenchi, mated, bred, and laid an egg, plus a gene computer for mutations. There will also be a tribal Mamenchi, which is tamed by an NPC tribe to be used as an NPC battle mount. This will come in later editions probably when we add NPC tribes and Indian tribes. Maybe we'll add Mamenchis as well to be their tribal mounts similar to war elephants. And there will be the dead Mamenchi, an auto-generated harvestable corpse of a dead Mamenchisaurus that you can harvest for resources. So of course the Mamenchi in Dino World has a sub name, as it is not called the Mamenchisaurus like it is in Ark, but it's called the Mamenchi because we basically just shorten the name of all of our creatures. So it is a animal, so it still is Kingdom Animalia and is still a ancestral lizard, so group reptilian. Class is sauropod and family is long-necked sauropods, joining the Diplodocus and Brontosaurus, so it does fit in with the other Ark survival evolved creatures quite well. So of course the Mamenchi in Dino World stats is a little bit upgraded from the Ark survival stats, as it has 3,000 health instead of 2,500, stamina is 400 instead of 200, food is doubled to 20,000 instead of 10,000, so it's basically based off of the Dino World Brachiosaurus, just like the middle ground between a Brachiosaurus and a Brontosaurus kinda. Its weight is 4,000 instead of 2,500, and while its base damage is the same at 70, its Mega Stomp, which is 115 instead of 85, so it has a better Mega Stomp than its Brontosaurus-like cousin in Ark Survival. Walking speed is the same. Swimming speed is a little bit increased from 2 meters per second instead of 1.5 meters per second. Torpor is the same, and fortitude is 6, so not as high as the Brachiosaurus, but still high enough to be above the Brontosaurus. So some additional traits, I do think that once we do have NPC tribes, we should add this dinosaur in. So of course it will be a tribal mount, so it'll be used by tribes, it can be tamed by tribes, and it'll be used as a war machine by NPC tribes. Number 2, it'll have a trample attack, a charge ability that to break through wood, stone, and bone structures, while also being used to break through low-level metal structures as well. So probably not steel or tech, but most likely iron, metal, and smaller, and then obviously wood, stone, and bone structures using this trample ability. It also has 360 vision, as due to its very long neck, the longest neck of any creature on Earth, it can wrap its neck around itself to look behind it if it needs to, giving it 360-degree vision. It also has a combat ability called Trap Breaker. When damaged, it can flee in a direction, breaking all traps and nearby trap devices without triggering them, similar to the trample attack but used on traps instead of structures. So very useful if you want to clear an area of landmines, tripwires, and poison traps. So of course, the last thing we're going to look at is spawn rates for the main map of Europa. Obviously blue is guaranteed, green for very likely, yellow for likely, orange for rare, red for very rare, and purple for dead. Obviously, we have the Central River here. The Central River will be full of probably the NPC tribes, as tribal people usually settle and reside on near rivers. So of course, they'll probably be spawning very likely near the Central River of the map. They'll also be rare to find on the Central Plains, but still rare to see, so you may be seeing a couple of them. They also can spawn rarely, very rarely in the desert, but still there, and you can find some dead corpses of Mamenchis between the desert, Central Plains, and Badlands Bay area. So just right here in this little pocket, you can find a couple Mamenchisaurus corpses. Alright, and that's going to be the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like if you like, dislike if you don't, subscribe if you like it. Comment down below your thoughts, everyone have a blessed day as always, and of course, as always, Toodaloo.